Welcome back to USA Coins, the ultimate destination for coin collectors, treasure hunters, and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and mysterious coins in American numismatic history, the 1965 Roosevelt dime. Yes, you heard that right, a humble dime. But not just any dime. This tiny 10-cent coin could be worth millions, with some valuations reaching a jaw-dropping $39 million. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the truth behind the 1965 Roosevelt dime, explore its rich history, rare errors, and the reason why a few select examples are considered hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. This might just change how you look at your pocket change forever. Let's begin our journey into history. To understand the 1965 dime, we need to step back in time to the origins of the Roosevelt dime series. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945. It was chosen to honor him not only as a former president but also as the founder of the March of Dimes, an organization that helped combat polio and later expanded to support maternal and infant health. Roosevelt's face on the dime was a tribute that made perfect sense, and it replaced the earlier winged Liberty Head dime, commonly referred to as the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916. The new design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. It featured a left-facing profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, and on the reverse, a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. From 1946 to 1964, Roosevelt dimes were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, something changed that would impact American coinage forever. The year 1965 was a turning point in U.S. coinage. The demand for silver was skyrocketing, and coin hoarding became a serious issue. People were pulling silver coins out of circulation and keeping them for their melt value. The U.S. Mint found itself unable to produce enough coins for everyday transactions. To solve this, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which authorized a major change in the metal composition of U.S. coins. Dimes, quarters, and later half dollars would no longer be made of silver. Instead, they would be composed of a clad composition, a core of pure copper, sandwiched between two outer layers of copper-nickel. This new composition was cheaper and eliminated the precious metal content, allowing the mint to produce coins at a much lower cost. From 1965 onward, all dimes were supposed to be clad. But here's where it gets interesting. In theory, number 1965 dimes were supposed to be made from silver. But in practice? A few rogue dimes escaped the mint's strict transition process. Somehow, some 1965 dimes were accidentally struck on the old 90% silver planchets that were meant for 1964 dimes. These coins are not just errors, they are ultra-rarities. And if you find one, it could be worth tens of thousands or even millions. So, how can you tell if your 1965 dime is silver? First, the weight. A regular 1965 clad dime weighs about 2.27 grams. But a silver dime weighs 2.5 grams. Second, the edge. Clad dimes have a visible copper edge. A silver dime will have a pure silver edge with no copper showing. Third, the sound. Silver dimes have a distinctly different ringing tone compared to the duller sound of clad coins. Now let's talk about the legend. The idea of a 1965 dime being worth $39 million may sound like fantasy. But behind every legend is a sliver of truth. In rare coin circles, there are whispers of a 1965 Roosevelt dime that was not only struck in silver, but possibly came from a proof die used at the San Francisco Mint. This coin, supposedly in nearly perfect condition, was never meant to be released into circulation. It could have been part of a test run, a mint error, or even a piece smuggled out by a mint worker. If authenticated, such a coin would be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. In the rare coin market, uniqueness is king. And if a coin is the only one of its kind, especially with historical significance, it can fetch astronomical sums at auction. This is where the rumored $39 million valuation comes in. While the mythical $39 million dime has yet to be seen publicly, several 1965 silver dimes have sold for tens of thousands. A 1965 Roosevelt dime struck on a silver planchet graded sold for over $8,000. Another example in mint state condition went for $12,000 in a private sale. If a truly unique specimen, especially one with mint-proof characteristics or extraordinary provenance, ever hits the open market, we could see numbers that challenge even the most legendary coin sales. These dimes could still be out there, hiding in old coin jars, forgotten collections, or even inside your piggy bank. If you find a 1965 dime, here's what you should do: weigh the coin using a precise digital scale, check the edge for copper or full silver, use a magnet. Silver and copper nickel are not magnetic, but if the coin reacts, it could be a fake. Consult a professional coin grading service like for authentication. Avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning reduces value drastically. Protect it in a coin flip or holder and seek expert advice. The 1965 Roosevelt dime reminds us that even the most common, everyday items can hide secrets of extraordinary value. Millions of dimes were struck in 1965, and the vast majority are worth only face value. But a few rare mistakes slipped through the cracks, and those could change lives. Is the $39 million Roosevelt dime real? No one can say for sure. But in the world of rare coins, never say never. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, always check your change, study your coins, and never underestimate the value of a small piece of metal with a big story behind it. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into one of America's most mysterious coins. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to USA Coins for more hidden treasures, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in circulation. Who knows, the next millionaire coin might just be sitting in your pocket. Stay curious. Stay collecting. And as always, happy hunting. Would you like me to turn this into a narrated video script with timing cues and visual suggestions?